तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मायं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवश्री गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपदमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So thank you for inviting us. You get a nice view here. Unfortunately, in the next few years, everything will be built up. So it's the way of this world. There's only one thing constant, that it is change. Get used to the idea. If you understand a principle, you can adjust the details. Krishna consciousness is a principle. Preaching is a principle. Cleanliness is a principle. Preaching is a principle. The details, they're variables. If you're too stuck up on details, you get nothing done. Just like education is a principle. But the way how you do it, the details, they vary. Former times, people would sit under a tree. Now we sit in this, little high-rise here. That's a detail. The principle of education is the same. So if you want to figure things out, you have to understand the difference between a principle and a detail. Got it? Okay? And the principle stays, which means you have to be firm on your principle, but you have to be flexible on your details. Because sometimes there is no tree under which to sit, or nobody will show up. So, can you still preach? Yes, you can. So don't be stuck up on details. Otherwise, it will never happen the way you expect it. I was in Asunción, Paraguay. You heard of Paraguay? It's a country, not a brand of bananas, but a country in South America. And I was invited to give a lecture at the university. And we're going there with instruments, books, prasadam, running around campus looking for the hall, the lecture hall. After 40 minutes, we could not find it. And finally, one professor said, "Today, no lectures. Today's project day." And the lady said, "Everyone's at the main plaza. They're there. You go there, and you'll find some students." So I got annoyed. I was like, I came here to give lecture, I prepared myself. I'm ready to download. And there is no lecture. So I got so annoyed. I just walked away from her and just started distributing books, because when you don't know what to do, you go back to what works, right? Yeah. So I just went to distribute books. After a while, I was more peaceful. So we went down to the plaza. There was a lot of students and some tables. And I realized this is not like a university that teaches humanities or sciences. They were doing forestry and fishery and agriculture and all, more like a trade school where people learn jobs. And they had different projects. So some people were showing what to do with honey, with lemons, with avocados, and they had different tables. And quite a number of students were around. So we just took up a table, we put our books, we put prasadam there, and we started chanting Hare Krishna. And all of a sudden, everybody came to our table. And they started taking prasadam, they started buying books, and they started interacting with the devotees. And after that, I realized that this was the best lecture that I never gave. So sometimes you have a plan. Krishna also has a plan. Let's see who wins. What do you guess? Who's going to win? Huh? Are you sure? Yeah, he always wins, right? But he likes a little tension. He likes a little suspense. So don't be too stuck up. Don't be too rigid. Do you know that bamboo is stronger than steel? Do you know that? Huh? Any structural engineers? No? No construction, only IT wallas. Because you see, bamboo, you can bend it 360. You put it in water, then you bend it, you can bend it 360. And you have seen many things made out of bamboo. You take any metal, you try to bend it, what happens? Bang! it snaps, right? So in a similar way, it's good to be strict, but if you're too strict, then when you should be flexible, you snap. Okay? So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible on the details. Prabhupada wrote a letter to a temple president, and he told him that you're the president. You have to be very strict. And in the next sentence he said, and very liberal. Now how does that work? Seems like two opposites of the spectrum, right? They're not mutually exclusive. Now, I know you're not trained in philosophy, you're more trained in science, but to have a philosophical mind means you can hold two seemingly opposing concepts in your mind at the same time without going error, 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 error. This doesn't work. Just like Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, right? Simultaneous oneness and difference. How can you accommodate these contradictory concepts? Achintya kaloye bhava tangstarkena nayojayet. That all seeming contradictions get reconciled in the inconceivable nature of the Supreme. Krishna can make it happen. Huh? Krishna is the supremely attractive, and he's totally detached. Have you noticed? Huh? So, we're here to expand our vision, our capacity to share and to practice Krishna consciousness. And for that, you're in the right place, because Krishna will challenge your sense of normalcy. Just like you read Bhagavatam, and then you read 9th Canto. What's happening in 9th Canto? A lot of drama, right? A lot of tragedy, a lot of stuff going sideways. A lot of the norms, a lot of things get challenged. Why is that there in 9th Canto? Because Krishna wants you to give up your sense of mundane morality and justice before Krishna's appearance. Because Krishna is breaking all the rules. Because the one who makes the rules, he can break the rules. Huh? But don't take liberty. Yes, sometimes in order to preach, we have to bend certain rules. Like normally, you don't go up to people and you say, hey, you, pay attention. I got something to tell you. Normally, you don't do this, right? But if you're in preaching or even in a classroom, you may have to do it. Now, of course, nowadays, you go to university and there's a hall with a few hundred students and people are there, you know, bored. Teacher just talking something, PowerPoint, okay, do your homework, come for the exam. But this is different, huh? Because we're taking personal interest in each and every individual. Because Prabhupada treated every person who walked through the door as a future leader of the Hare Krishna movement. So, and what happened? They became the future leaders of the Hare Krishna movement. We're not looking for followers. We're not looking for yes men. We're not looking for sheep. There's plenty of those. But they're not the kind of people that we're looking for. Huh? A professor of medicine is not teaching medical students. He's teaching doctors. You understand the difference? Huh? He's teaching people with vision, with capacity. Now, of course, you get started in any project, you work your way up, but at some point, you have to figure out, where is this going? Because other people will ask you, where is this thing going? And if you say, I don't know, I just work on a need-to-know basis, you know? I only know what they told me. Huh? People ask you, what does it say in your book that you're distributing here? I don't know, I didn't read it. They told me I should sell it. These books, you know, my guru wrote these books for me to sell and for you to read. Is this very convincing? Not quite, right? People say, but yeah, that's hypocrisy, right? And being a hypocrite is pretty much the worst thing you can be nowadays. So, take your time to internalize. What does internalize mean? What does going deeper mean? It means you develop your inner dialogue. You start asking yourself questions. Okay, what is this guy talking about? That's not my usual class, how I'm used to. Usually I just get a few stories and a little bit of information, and then I retain some of that, and I may use it here and there. No, that's not what we're here for. We're here to help you improve your internal dialogue, to start improving your ability to question. Because if you can't, then other people they will do that for you. And that won't always be so much for your benefit. So Prabhupada, he ventured out of comfort zone. He left Vrindavan. He went to New York, the place where there's only one rule, no rules. The most competitive marketplace in the world to share Krishna consciousness. But he had full faith in the instruction of his spiritual master. So he was strict on the principles, but he was flexible on the details. And that's why he did what no one else could do. He made people attracted, he captivated, he captured people's hearts, he changed people's lives. He got them to commit to the process of Krishna consciousness. I don't care to which school you went. I don't care how many gold medals you have. I don't care what your jati is. I don't care where your grandma went to church or how your dad made his money. The only thing that counts right here is your attitude, your adhikar. That means what is your ability to apply yourself to the process of Krishna consciousness and to share that process with others. Because we're not looking for spectators. We're not looking for sponsors or donors. What are we looking for? Help me out. What's your target audience? What are you looking for? Practitioners. What does it mean to be a practitioner? 16 rounds, 4 regs? What's the criteria? The taking initiation? There's plenty of people who take initiation. There's plenty of people following regs and doing some ritual and doing some rounds and this and that. What are we looking for? Help me out, boys. Missionaries. Oh, what is our mission? To become famous? To become wealthy? To become popular? It's not a popularity contest. If I want to become popular, you just tell people, hey, you know, free trips to Goa and, you know, good job, go to US. But it's not a popularity contest. I'm here to help to make you think a little better, to improve your processing, your thinking ability. That's what I'm here for. And it may not be so pleasurable because sometimes you may have people who ask you the hard questions. Like when you go out on the street, people ask you, okay, you're IIT Wala, fine, fair enough. But you look like you're pretty young, you don't have so much experience in life. So why are you doing what you're doing? You couldn't get a job, couldn't get a girlfriend, parents threw you out, you got a little midlife crisis at the bright old age of 23, huh? Why? Huh? Why are you here? Good question, right? Relative question, relevant question. Do people ever ask you these things? Yes, they do. Does your mind ever ask you these things? Yes, the mind does. Do you have good answers? You better, because otherwise you're stuck with, what am I doing here? You know? I mean, people are out there making money. People are out there, you know, buying stuff and selling stuff and enjoying life. And meanwhile, I'm here, and I'm not allowed to do this, and have to do this. Huh? And all of a sudden you think, oh no, these are not my friends, these are enemies, you know, they're keeping me away from my progress. So, asking relevant questions is the sign of intelligence. It means you're actually able to think. And we have a rule here in our little group that you're welcome to challenge, you're welcome to critique, you're welcome to suggest, on the one condition: you're willing to be part of the solution. Because then it's constructive. If you're not willing to be part of the solution, then it's actually counterproductive. I travel about 30 to 40 countries a year, and in many places when I get picked up at the airport, I ask them, how is it going? And they say, we have to change the management. We got to get rid of the management. I say, really? Why? They say, they're all corrupt, they're too old, they're disconnected, they're not doing anything, they don't understand us. So I say, so you gonna do it? They say, no, but we have to get rid of management. I say wrong type of didactics. If you're not willing to be part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So, it seems like a small place, but many big corporations started in a garage. So this is much more than a garage. You can call this an incubator. We're here to do what? To recruit, train, and empower spiritual revolutionaries. How about that? Is that a good mission statement? Recruit, train, and empower spiritual revolutionaries. That's my mission statement. That's why I'm here. Because I'm almost 60. My 3 kids are older than you. So, I've already done a few things in life. So now I'm more excited to see where there is potential. Here I see a lot of room for potential. A lot of growth is happening. But we need a team. I see a bunch of bright-faced and very intelligent individuals. I don't see a team yet. Because team requires team dynamic. It requires team play. It means your success is my success. Team wins. Your struggle is my struggle. It's a small team. A team is as strong as its weakest member. Help each other. Support each other. I know you come from super competitive backgrounds. You wanted to be a gold medalist. You want to be top of the line. You want to get that top job. And all of a sudden, dasa, nudasa, sounds great, but I'm not quite there yet. Right? So, these are just a little food for thought, a little bit of reflections on a, Monday noon. Maybe you have some questions or some comments or some reflections. Since this is a rather small group, we can keep this a little bit interactive. Now is a good time. I can tell you stories till the cows come home, but since there are no cows here, I thought maybe you have something that interests you, because I'll do quite a lot of talking, and I'm used to the sound of my own voice, and I don't crave free microphones. I cherish solitude. So tell me, what is it that you are curious about? Or you already know it all? You already achieved? Then in that case, you're done. Because when you think you're done, you're done. You ever written an exam and your mind tells you, I'm done? That moment, you're done. It's game over. So always stay hungry and humble. Stay in learning mode, even if you have already achieved. Otherwise, there's no growth in comfort zone. You plateau and then you go down. If you want to become steady, you have to continuously try to improve. And at some point, it gets exceedingly hard to improve, but you'll be steady. And Jiva Goswami says you can see your spiritual advancement in 2 ways. Number 1, you become steady. Number 2, Mukhya Prasad. What comes out of your mouth is sweet speech. Not harsh, not rash, not agitating. Anudvega karambakyam satyam priyamitam chayat swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchite. The austerity of speech, right? Speaking things that are truthful, pleasing, and relevant, and in relation to Vedic scripture. That will be the austerity of speech. And for that, it's important that you venture out of comfort zone. You go out into the great unknown. I know you're comfortable with a computer and with a cell phone, but how comfortable are you amongst non-devotees? Are you comfortable? Or are you exceedingly uncomfortable? That's the question, you see? Because Samyak Kirtan means the congregational chanting. It means the bigger chanting and expansion of the holy name. It's nice that you're happy, but that's not good enough, because I'm not training end users. I invest energy into leaders, and leader is a person who takes care of other people. So I want to know, how many people are you mentoring? How many people are you preaching to? How many people are you engaging in devotional service? How many people are you training in bhakti? How many people are you taking out on Harinam Sankirtan? How many people are you inspiring for book distribution? That's what I want to know. Huh? So there is some room for improvement. You're fairly young in life and in Krishna consciousness, so it's a very good time. Because now is the time to build your foundation. You see all these high rises? Without foundation, it's not going to last. So invest in your foundation. And that is, Sankirtan is a school of life. So take this opportunity for the marathon. Go out to distribute books. Go out to do Nagar Sankirtan. I know your mind's got a million excuses. It's written all over your forehead. But there's one good reason that supersedes all the excuses. It's the order of the spiritual master and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire. He said, Pritivite achayata nagaradigram sarvatrat pachara hoy bemoranam. He didn't say, just get stuck in comfort zone and be a happy-go-lucky sadhu. He said, no, like Prahlad Maharaj, Naivod vijay paraduratya yavaitaranyas tadvirya gayana mahamrita magnachita shocheta to vimukacheta saindriyartam maya sukhayam baramudva hato vimudhan. I only have one problem in my life, Prahlad says. It's when I see the suffering of all these fools and rascals, then I feel pained. And I'm making plans. How can I help them? Some people think, let me go to Himalayas, let me go to the cave, let me go to the forest. But Prahlad says, Prayena deva munayaksva vimukti kama maunam charanti vijanena parartanishtan naitan vihaya kripanan vimumuksha eko nanyam tvadasya sharanam brahmato nupashye. He said, no, don't go to the forest, to the mountains, or to the caves. Go to the big cities where the people are, like Hyderabad, and share Krishna consciousness with them. And there, while performing the Sankirtan Yagya, you will meet Krishna. Krishna will reveal himself in a very powerful way. Why is Kurukshetra the place of greatest need? Because it's the place where the gopis were yearning for Krishna's association in Vrindavan. And Krishna was so attracted, he was so compelled, he was so touched, that this whole pastime is what's happening in Rath Yatra. This is the mood, Vipralambar Kshetra. This is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what attracts and captivates Krishna's mind. So don't get stuck in comfort zone. You're a little too young to plateau. If you're at 35 and you get a midlife crisis, all right, okay. But not at 23, okay? So these are a few reflections, questions, comments. Yes.
For inspiring to come out of comfort zone. The first statement which you made, that Krishna's plan or our plan. So how do we ensure we are being part of Krishna's plan?
Yeah, my plan is usually Ishvaroham Ham Bhogi. Usually it's I want to control and I want to enjoy. Have you noticed? It may be more subtle, but it's still there. And Krishna's plan has usually something to do with service, with seva, with preaching. Because this whole universe, Krishna created this to give people an opportunity to try to live out their desires and then get tired and then come back to him. It's like a big playground, parents, they take their kids to the beach and then they build castles of sand. And at some point they say, okay, Bari Jabo, ho gaya, let's go home, right? So, and that moment, that's where you come into play, where you have to tell people, okay, you have achieved, you're doing well, but there's something missing. That's your peace of mind. That's your purpose. That's your higher calling. And to remind them of that. That's the real requirement. I don't know whether that answers your question.
Basically, anything related to bringing people back to Krishna, that is Krishna's plan.
Absolutely. That's why he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Krishna, he's not campaigning for president or for being God, because he is God. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can campaign for Krishna. So he appears in the mood of Srimati Radharani to campaign for Krishna, to taste that Vipralamba Bhav and that preaching mood and spirit. Because Krishna doesn't do that. He says, Yetama prapadyante. No, whatever you do, I reward you. Okay. You want Shantaras? Fine. You're okay, I'm okay. Haribol. Krishna is not imposing himself. But Mahaprabhu, and Lord Nityananda, he's very forceful. Huh? Take it. It's good for you. Will make you happy. Huh? So, there's a lot of opportunity, but we have to build a team of like-minded individuals. So that when people come here, the only question in their mind should be, how can I become like you? How can I join your team? That's a good question, right? That's the question I had when I came to the temple. It took me 6 months to convince my mom to let me go. But that was my question. The question shouldn't be, how to balance papa and punya, how to make more, of this and less of that. No. The question should be, how can I be part of your thing? Because nowadays people don't listen so well, have you noticed? But they watch very closely. So when they see hypocrisy, when they see that we're preaching one thing but we're doing another thing, then keep driving, keep looking. So we have to be authentic, we have to be accountable, we have to be straight up. And that's why it's good, you have these small team, and you can help each other, you can have good sangha. How do you cut a diamond? With another diamond. Because diamond is the strongest material, so you can only cut it with another diamond. So that's what we're doing here. Putting all these smart guys together in one place, and we engage them, not in occupational therapy, but in Harinam Sankirtan. There's close proximity, there's some pressure, it creates heat. And then, through that heat, anartha nivritti, and all these beautiful facets that a diamond has, they will happen in due course of time. But it may take a little longer than a weekend. So one retreat or, one session with this sadhu or that sadhu, it may take a little longer than that. You want to become expert? 10,000 hours, 7 years. Are you ready to invest 7 years? Sure, why not? Small price to pay. But you have to apply yourself. Step out of comfort zone. Yes, you can say, I'm busy. I got a few people I'm mentoring, and I do a few classes, and I do a little online stuff. But, Prabhupada, he wrote the books, he published the books, he went out and he distributed the books, and he did everything that needed doing, and that's why he's our founder Acharya. Because what is founder Acharya? What does Acharya mean? He's teaching by example. If you don't know, how can you teach? You don't know what cooking is, you don't know what cleanliness is, you don't know what preaching is. What are you going to preach? You don't know. You have no frame of reference. You're like these people in these tech conferences who talk about tech, but they have no clue what they're talking about. They're marketing guys, they're investors, they're just talking out of their elbow. They have no clue about technology. And you've heard a few of them, right? It's good for entertainment. So don't be such a type of a sadhu. Right now, you're happy-go-lucky. In a few years, people will give you money, praise, opportunity, make you proposals. Can you handle it? Well, we'll see. Time will show. It will be seen. It will be tested. So right now is your formative years. So my humble request to all of you is take this great opportunity, confirmed, and venture out of comfort zone. Engage in Harinam Sankirtan. Go out and distribute some books. It's good to have some cross-pollination, because if you're all the same, then you'll all have the same problem. And once the problem arises, everyone goes belly up and it's game over. So it's good you have a different groups here in Hyderabad. So some cross-pollination. You go out sometimes with the boys from Attapur. You go to Abdis, you go to the other center, you do some seva there. It's good. It's good. It gives you a little more perspective. Because right now, you're lacking context. You're lacking context. Context? The bigger picture is missing. The world is not what you see of it. It's a big world out there. There's a lot of people out there. a lot of different mindsets out there, a lot of opportunities out there. So, of course, all you can do is put one foot in front of the next. This is, just a little food for thought to stimulate your thinking process. I see there's a lot of thinking going on. There's a lot of vata, a lot of, airheads. So that's fine. But we just went offline. India is amazing. It's a place where everything's available and nothing works. Magical place. Except Krishna. Krishna always works. And Krishna always does the magic. So if you want to see the magic, if you want to see some miracles, join the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Don't try to play it safe, clean hands, I got my computer, I got my mobile phone, I got my comfort zone. Don't sell yourself short. Prabhupada left Radha Damodar and went to New York. Because he knew that this is what Krishna wants me to do. And he prepared himself for his whole life. So right now, the marathon's starting on 15th. Today is 10th. So you got 5 days to get ready. One time Prabhupada took a train from the north to the south. He went through Delhi. One gentleman got on the bogie and he said, Swamiji, we don't have a center here in Delhi. This is the most important city, it's the capital. You need a center here. Prabhupada said, so you will help? The man said, yes, I will help. Prabhupada was traveling maybe 20 devotees. He looked around the bogie and he said, you, and you, get off the train. And he gave them 50 rupee loan. Not donation, loan, to start a temple in Delhi. Imagine you travel with your Gurudev on the train, and in some station he kicks you off the train and gives you 50 rupee loan to go and start a center. You can write a little paper on that as a mind exercise. Good idea, right? It's like the Marines, they throw you out of an airplane behind enemy lines, if you're lucky with a parachute. And they say, okay, let's see how long you last before you push the red button, get me out of here. And yes, they went with the man. He was a crazy guy. He was a puggle. He put his batteries, normal batteries, next to the devotees where they were chanting, and he thought that the chanting would recharge the batteries. He was a little, crazy. And they went out, and they distributed a few books. They did some chanting. They attracted some interest. Some people came forward and helped. And today we have about 20 temples in Delhi due to the sacrifice of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and so many countless generations of devotees who have sacrificed and dedicated themselves. It didn't come easy. It started out with that moment of anxiety, where Guru says, okay, all right, you're a big boy, all right, go and prove it. Do something. That moment will come. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will come when Guru sees that it's time to do that. Till then, he says, oh, goody, 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 good boy, eat some more prasad. It's all fine. But that day will come. And we were lucky because, nobody asked us, you want to do this, you want to do that. We were just thrown out into the water, It's swim or sink. Some swam, some sank. It's not the easiest, it's not the best way how to train people, but it's a way how to train people. So I appreciate that you have good leadership, you get educated, you have nice facility, but don't let all of that inhibit you and make you too rigid and too stereotype so you can't be any more open to the opportunities of Krishna consciousness. There's a lot of demographics, there's a lot of things that can be done or said, but this is just what I'm inspired to say, today on this topic. Any other questions or reflections? Yes, Prabhu.
Guruji, you also mentioned about seeing everyone as a potential leader of this movement and empower, then train, and then...
There are different types of leaders,
recruit, Yeah. So the question is that, like, many times we distribute books, but then we don't complete that loop, or how do we see that, or what are some tips that you follow, or, to keep them connected?
Yeah, like me, I can't deal with the world because I'm a little guy and the world's too big, so you can't boil the ocean. Sociologists have proven that you can only productively engage with 150 people, not more than that. Jesus had 12 disciples. Some were not so good, some were terrible. A couple were all right, they did something. So don't try to speak to the world. Just focus on a certain group and try to help them. Oftentimes the people who get the books are not the ones who read them. So you never know. You never know. And also, if I cannot pay attention to one person, however insignificant that person might be, then why would Krishna give me more opportunity? If I don't value a small engagement, why would Krishna give me a big engagement? So, and as far as leadership, there are different types of leaders. Some, if they can keep themselves engaged, that's a good start. Others, they can deal with family. Others, they can deal with friends. Others, they can deal with more people. But Krishna can increase your capacity according to our level of surrender. So it's Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartana. And everyone has potential because we're Atma. The Jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna can do the magic. I met people who walked in the door, they couldn't open their mouth and say their name. And now they're big preachers. You have seen people like that, right? And they just transformed. They just went amazing. And I've seen others who are stellar, they're MBAs, they're, PhDs, and they can't do nothing. They're just totally incapacitated. So, it's not about your externals. It's really, like we're reading about what? We're reading about Kolavecha Sridhar and Vasudev Datta and all these illustrious personalities, What was their education? What was their status? What was their wealth? But they had Krishna's intervention. And that's what makes the difference. Because Krishna is a doer. He's the one who makes it happen. Sometimes you think, if I just get a lot of money, I'll do a lot of preaching. Prabhupada said, I had that idea. I wanted to become a big businessman, and I thought that then I can spread Krishna consciousness. But Krishna had a different idea. He took it all away. So, whatever Krishna's plan is, that's how it's going to be. He will reveal it in due course of time. But if you go out on Sankirtan, he will intervene faster. So if you're impatient like me, and you you want to see results fast, then you go out and you say, Krishna, now is a good time. I need your intervention. I can't do this. I'm helpless. Please, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Okay? Other points? What's our timeline here? Okay. Yes, right behind you. No, you go ahead. You got the hand up. Just keep the mic and then we go back.
Actually, in our personal lives, Broji, we generally, not majority time reading from books. We are reading from laptop or mobile because we need to travel and very difficult to carry the books, especially Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So, how do we then preach to others that you take the book? They will say, I have in my mobile, or I will hear lectures. So how do we deal with that question with others and first of all ourselves?
Well, you can tell them, look, I got 2 print versions of the books, One in the ashram, one my personal set, and I also have the digital version, that's fine. But the digital comes from the printed. So one doesn't exclude the other, just like the book that I brought for you. It's the print version, but there's also a QR code for the free digital version. So you tell them, you get the print copy, and the digital book is free gift. It's 2 in 1. You see here? Ebook included. Okay? Huh? 2 in 1. Pretty good deal. If you also have audiobook, then it's 3 in 1. Huh? More better. I know there's a lot of smart people here in South India and they like to argue. So you just tell them that's fine. You download the ebook on your phone and you gift this for a friend. Free gift. Haribol. So don't see it as a tragedy, see it as an opportunity. Okay? People are busy coming up with arguments and excuses. And you can try to fight it and counter them and be a smart guy. But oftentimes, just being very enthusiastic supersedes all these arguments. Have you noticed? So don't get stuck in argument mode, because the problem is never solved on the level of the problem. You have to come to the higher ground. Just be enthusiastic, utsaha. That will attract people. And some will say no, no matter what. And some will take it, no matter what. So look for ripe fruits. And there's plenty out there. Don't waste time with people who are into arguments. Okay? Yes.
You're also mentioning that someone may ask our conviction that you have left your job, you have left everything, or something like that, and you are doing this, whereas you could have earned money or something. We may be personally convinced, but we feel sometimes that why should I speak to him, or it is like it is not very relevant now. I can rather distribute probably 2 books rather than speaking to him. He may not get convinced. Or is it always necessary that we...
No, it's not always necessary, but Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Krishna will show you. Don't be too easily dismissed or brushed off. Sometimes you have to give him a second chance, a third chance. Push a little bit, be persistent. Like Prabhupada with Sumati Morarji. She rejected him a few times. She had good arguments. Parties going on. But he persisted and he got what he wanted. So sometimes it's worth to persist a little bit. You can always ask a second time. If they say 3 times no, it's okay, let them go. And if they say, oh, you left job, you left family, you can tell them, no, I'm a volunteer for ISKCON. I got a job that's much more valuable and much more meaningful. Prabhupada started with 40 rupees. Now we have 1,000 centers. So you do the math. No businessman has done what Prabhupada has done. And if they come with the whole family thing, you tell them, Vasudeva Kutumbaka, the whole world, we're all family. And I'm trying to help you. So if you're not able to appreciate that, is that my problem? No. I continue to do what I do, and you cannot be insecure. You cannot be, confused or discouraged. An electrician, he can create heat or cold with electricity. So whatever people throw at you, you can use it. But then again, as you said, sometimes it's a waste of time. So you have to recognize when it's time to move on and when it's time to persist. Krishna will give you the intelligence. Other questions? Sometimes talking to friends, families, and colleagues, or student colleagues, peers, is not so productive because they're too close to you. They lack respect, they lack appreciation, they lack context. So sometimes it's better you go out and you just deal with brand new people, because they don't have any frame of reference. It's easier to deal with them. Okay? Other questions? Yes. I have a question. What's your plan for the marathon? How many books are you going to do here? Kitna? 1 lakh, 2 lakh? I mean, there's no lack of money here. You see all the stuff that's going on around. You can think about it. You can tell me at the end. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhu. So initially you were mentioning about principle and details. So how do we know what is principle, what is
A
detail?
principle is something that never changes. It's a fix. It's a given. Just like, for instance, cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So cleanliness is a principle. But the way how cleanliness is achieved, that's a detail. Sometimes you travel in train, you can't take shower, or you're in airplane. But you can still wash yourself, you can still chant Hare Krishna, you can still think of Krishna, even if the situation may not be very pure. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va yaksmaret pundarikaksham sabhabhyayantaraksuchi Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. You can chant Hare Krishna wherever you are, and it will purify yourself and the place and all the people. So don't get caught up in the smarta way of, oh no, now it's 12:51. I can't get out of the house because it's astrologically not safe. It's not a good time, you know? You understand what I'm talking about? Krishna will supersede all these principles. Sometimes I meet people, they say, oh, I ate non-veg, or, you know, I drank alcohol, or I can't touch this book. And I say, hey, you, look here. You just touched it. You're still alive. Okay. Oh, your grandma died. Okay, here, catch. Don't worry, grandma will be happy. Give a donation on her behalf. She'll be more happy. All right? Sometimes you have to jumpstart people because they're a little stuck, you know? They're a little incapacitated. So you have to help them to get them going. You know jumpstart? You ever pushed a car and jump-started it? Requires a little energy, right? You can't do that constantly because it's too much effort. You exert yourself. But sometimes it's required. So don't get stuck in this stuff. Yes, it requires a little intelligence to be able to distinguish. So if you have a scenario and you're not able to make out, ask yourself, what's the principle here? And what's the detail? And in case, ask. There's so many devotees you can ask. You have your seniors, you have your guides. You ask them, how should I navigate in this situation? Right now you have a lot of gyan, you have a lot of knowledge because they crammed a lot of data in your head, in your brain, till smoke comes out of your ears and your nose. But you're lacking vigyan, you're lacking context, you're lacking realization. Because information without application does not lead to realization. And without realization, there's no transformation. People don't care how much you know till they know that you care. So you have to be able to show that you actually care about them. Empathy is not a t-shirt. Okay, I'm good. Let the world go to hell. Well, I got news for you. If the world goes to hell, you're in it. You'll notice it. Have you noticed how Hyderabad is rapidly catching up with Bangalore? And the traffic jam and the way how people behave and all that is going, it's going south real fast. You noticed? Yeah, rapidly. So if you don't like the way how the world's going, you don't like the way how your life is going, sign up with the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And yes, it's a voluntary movement. No one can force you. We're here because of our own volition. Nobody bribed you. Nobody can coerce you. But if you repose the only thing that's your property, which is your chaita, your consciousness, at Krishna's lotus feet, by engaging in service, especially engaging in preaching, Krishna will reward you. How will he reward you? He will give you taste. He will give you empowerment. He will give you opportunity. He'll give you whatever it is that you're looking for. Whatever I wanted in life, Krishna has exceeded and surpassed my expectations by the wildest dreams. So, whether you're going to be married with 5 kids and 20 companies, or you're going to be stellar brahmacharis, or you're just going to be humble servants of the community, that's a detail. But being a devotee, that's the principle. That has to be first. Everything else is a detail. Everything else, you know, position, job, function, it's a detail. Last question. Unlimited. What kind of pastime? Well, I'm excited by young people because they haven't yet given up on life. You know, It's easy to get money and to move books, but you want to capture young people, you have to be willing to deal with, some arrogance and some. So I like students. So I go up to them and I say, do you speak English? And they say, yeah, why? I say, are you smart or you just have a smartphone? And often they say, yes, I have a smartphone. I say, you are qualified. This is for you. It's a joke. Don't worry. Then I say, everyone gets this and everybody gives a donation. They say, everybody? I say, yes, everybody. Okay, how much? I say, 500. All right. No? But you can't smile, you can't laugh. You have to keep a straight face, right? So Sankirtan is fun and easy, It's so good. Then I walk up to these students, all brainiacs, all nerds, up all in their heads, and I ask them, have you mastered your mind? Not quite yet. Okay, well, this will help you. What's your biggest distraction? Your mind, your phone, or the fear not to reach your full potential? You got to ask them some questions. And in this way, you'll capture people's attention. And whatever they say, that's okay. You can work with that. And then you introduce the books. You make the connection, sambandha. You make the connection. This will help you to improve your thought process. This will help you to control your mind, to stay away from whatever it is that is giving you trouble in life. So that's what I do. And it's exciting because there's many scenarios that you can't, this is not textbook. You just have to, you just have to work with it. So Sankirtan stories, they're unlimited. I want you to get your own. All right, I tell you, last one for the close. What type of story do you want to hear? We already talked about that one a few times. What kind of story you want to hear? Huh? Adventurous. Yeah, sometimes we go to places where we're not supposed to be, where it's, illegal to be there. But it's too good to resist. It's like going to Taliban forest, and that Denuka will appear at some point in time. But you're young, so adventure is part of the game. Like people say, oh no, you can't distribute books in the metro, or you can't go into malls, or you can't go into universities. No, you can. South America, they're going classroom to classroom, just knocking on doors, saying, excuse me, professor, there's so much problem with addiction, suicide, and mental health issues, and could I possibly address your class for like 3 minutes? And the professor says, you came here to help me to improve the quality of my students? Sure, you got 3 minutes. And then you talk a little bit about, all these things. And then you say, we got some nice books here for all of you, and you can make a donation. And they sell hundreds of books like that, going straight into classrooms. You can start with middle school, with, they all have money now because they're all going out to buy stuff. But you have to catch them before lunch break. So you got to go early. Otherwise, they spent their daily allowance. So we went to places which were quite illegal. Like one time I was in Chengdu, China. Have you heard of China? Made in China? Ni hao ma. So completely illegal. I carried one perfection of yoga in Chinese. And I said, I have to distribute this. I arrive at the airport, I walk out, and I see a yellow Ferrari. Yellow Ferrari. So I went up to the car. There's a young guy in there. I knock on the window. He's like, nobody ever knocked on his window. And I went like this, even though it's automatic, but you still make the same sign, right? So he opened the window. I gave him the book, and I said, I'm from Switzerland. Have you been to Switzerland? And he said, no. I said, what's wrong with you? And he was like, system error, he was just shocked. He was just confused. And I said, we're monks, And this is for you, and everybody gives a donation. And he picks up his wallet, and he gave me one, yuan, which is like 100 rupees. And I said, look at your car, man. People give 100. So you're driving a Ferrari, right? I mean, he's a young kid. He probably never worked one day in his life. His dad is probably a corrupt politician or a businessman. So I said, no, people give 100. So he was, okay, he gave 100. I saw the security guard is coming and is checking on me because he sees I'm talking to a car. So I'm just like, hey, yeah, how's it going? Have a great day. Fantastic. See you soon. And I walked away. So you want some excitement in life? Or you're not looking for excitement, right? You like it boring and same and stable, right? You eat your 2 chapatis and 1 spoon of rice because that's what works, right? All you need is a little carbohydrates, a little fiber, a little protein. If you want an interesting and exciting life, join the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You want a boring life? Just stay in the lab and, don't bother the world. But there's a lot of opportunity. Even if you want to be a scientist, there's a lot of opportunity because Krishna is in every atom and also in between the atoms. Now you figure that out, okay? You can use your genius for Krishna. Otherwise, it's useless because any quality that's not connected with Krishna will be a liability. And anything that you connect with Krishna by engaging in Krishna's service, that's your asset. You're financially literate? You understand the difference between a liability and an asset? Okay, just checking. Because sometimes people are confused. So, you got a good thing going here. This is an incubator. This is a small center. So feel free to brainstorm, to come up with new ideas, to explore them. This is not a big tanker that you have to, pull the wheel for half hour till something moves. This is like a little, Maruti Suzuki, you pull the wheel and boom, it goes in the other direction, right? So here you can still experiment. You can still try stuff out because it hasn't all been done yet. It's not that, oh yeah, we got to do Gita contests, we got to do sponsored books. I think a few people already done that, right? Correct? Yes or yes? Please say yes. Okay, good group. So use your own ingenuity. There's so many demographics, so many people who are looking for an opportunity, looking for something meaningful in life. We're not selling a product. Amazon sells product. Flipkart sells product. We're giving opportunity. Opportunity is priceless. What's the price? Well, sincerity. You have to want it. But ultimately, it's up to the individual. So thank you for showing up and being part of this great adventure. And I hope and pray that you have a great marathon. May Krishna protect you and inspire you and remove the obstacles on your path. And at the end of the day, it's a lifetime marathon. But lifetime starts today. It starts right now. You get 5 days to plan the marathon. Is that a good mind exercise? Are you ready? I'm not convinced. Are you ready? All right. So get on with it. Otherwise, what's the use of being an IIT guy or being a topper or being a smart guy if you can't get out of comfort zone and do something spectacular for Guru and Gauranga? Huh? So much studying, so much cramming, so much effort for what? Huh? Just making and spending money is useless, as you may have noticed. Right now, there are people out there driving to the mall, buying stuff that they don't need, with money that they don't have, to impress people that they don't like. People ask you, why do you go to a great university? Also, why? Placement, right? 108% placement. You saw those dabas from Vrindavan to Delhi? 140% vegetarian. I wonder where the 40% come from, right? 108% placement. Okay, why do you need placement? Because I need to get a job. Why do you need to get a job? So I can get money. Why do you need money? So I can buy nice clothes. Why do you need nice clothes? So I can get a job. But that's a circular argument. You get it? It doesn't work like that. So make sure you keep asking the hard questions and you find the right answers. Bhagavatam, questions and answers. Chaitanya Charitamrita, questions and answers. Bhagavad Gita, questions and answers. So when you're here, feel free to ask questions. Not the same challenging, digressing questions, but relevant questions that will enhance the conversation. Because there's many ways how to spread Krishna consciousness. And it's good to see a team of young people who have not yet given up on life and who are still believing in the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I wish you a great marathon. So, what's the plan, Sadhu? What's your quota? How much did you do last year?
We last year as a team couldn't do that much. What you would expect. We did our own.
I have no expectations. You can't disappoint me. But I expect to know that you know how much you did.
We did around 6,000 books.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yeah.
In one day or?
The marathon, the entire marathon actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's a good beginning.
Yes.
Prabhupada said double it. Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Very well.
But you have to grow your team. You have to think team. It's not just about you. I don't care how many books you individually distribute. I'm concerned about you as a team. So you have to grow your team. Like you see, we just came from Attapur. There's a bunch of very enthusiastic brahmacharis, but they have developed strategies how to expand their outreach. So they're getting resources, they're getting opportunity, they're doing big things all over the country. So use your intelligence. Otherwise, what's the use of being smart if you can't use your intelligence in Krishna's service? It'll just become a burden. It will just weigh you down and make you depressed and insecure. So whether it's 6 or 60 or 6 lakhs, the sky's the limit. You know, all the smart people who are in the Bay Area, who are in who are in Seattle, who are in Detroit, who are in Farmington Hills, who are down in the East Coast, they're from this place only. Yeah? It's all the South guys, Telugus for the most part, who are doing it. So if they can do it over there, why can't they do it here? That's my question. Why do you have to go to the end of the world in order to do something? You can do it right here. It just requires that we improve a little bit on our team dynamics. And Prabhupada, he had a vision. He had a big vision. He said, I can't think small. I want a Krishna consciousness to spread everywhere at once. That's a pretty big vision, right? So you find your mission in that vision, and Krishna will empower you. And don't worry, a little bit of stretch zone is good. It will help you also to see your own shortcomings, your own weaknesses, and in this way we can actually grow in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindhuvevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. So we brought a few gifts here. Christmas came early, or Diwali came late.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This was very thought-provoking, and would take a long time to kind of digest and take.
No worries. We should do this every 10 years.
Every time you visit, and you should give us more association, definitely. So
You read the book, you get plenty of what you're looking for, you know.
yeah,
So this is 40 years of experience, stories, the formula, the success and the struggle. And my humble desire is that you bend your mind and your intellect around some of these concepts and you see what resonates with you, what doesn't, don't worry about it. Uh, and yeah, take that leap of faith and invest yourself in the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I guarantee you, money back guarantee from this seminar, you won't regret it. Uh, Otherwise, you can get a full refund from Sri Ram Prabhu because they got all the money in the world. Okay. Any complaints? He is the ombudsman. The what do you call it here? The investigator, the person who has to chase down all the bad guys. All right,
right.
here it is. So
Well,
I need a pen.
quickly, pen.
This is an all electronic place, huh? No more pens. Haribo. What's going on out there? Haribo. 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 And yeah, one thing, being shy and introvert can be seen as an asset or as a liability. Huh? Liability, yes. But on the street, you have to open your mouth and talk to people, which is not a bad idea because if you're in a company or you have a family or you have a person in front of you, it's not a bad idea to learn the art of communication. Because without communication, cooperation is very hard. And without cooperation, it's very hard to reach love and trust. I'm here because I trust Sri Ram Prabhu and others, Revarti Prabhu, uh, Radhishyam Prabhu, because we have worked together for a long time. But there is communication, constant communication, open communication. We're discussing strategy. We're discussing, he's telling me, okay, more of this, less of that. Don't say that. People don't resonate with that. And I appreciate that. I value that. Alone, you can be good, but you can't be great. And then what happens is if you have open communication, all of a sudden your cooperation improves, your projects, your team work improves. And if you serve together for a good time, believe it or not, Love and trust becomes a reality. You actually start to realize these are my people. Huh? You know George Harrison, the Beatles guy? I know you're too young for that, but anyway, one of the greatest musicians. He was asked, you know, you have fame, you have money, you got everything. Why are you with these Hare Krishnas? You know, they're a bunch of losers. Why are you with those people? And he said, it's very simple. At the end of the day, if you draw a line and you put all the devotees here and everyone else there, I'd rather be with those guys than with you guys. So Krishna consciousness is the positive alternative. You're in the right place at the right time. Never doubt it for a moment. You've made the right choice. I joined when I was 15. It sounds early. I consider it late because Kamaramachare Pragyo Dharmam Bhagavatamiha. We missed Gurukul. What a bummer. We had to do a few stupid things before we got into Krishna consciousness. And some of you had to do high school, university. Some of you already got job. But better late than never. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time to get serious about spiritual life. Some people think this bhakti thing, yeah, that's for old people, right? You can do that when you're a dadu, right? What does old mean? Old means about to die. Who can say they're not about to die? You never know. So now is the time to get serious about Krishna consciousness. You don't have any time to waste because you're late, Baba. Marathon is up in 5 days. What's your game plan? Do you have a game plan? Have you figured it out yet? You got it all figured out, right? Not quite. There's still a little bit of internal processing and preparation to be done. So, because that moment when Krishna says, okay, are you ready to come back? You can't say, no, I still got a lot of projects. I still got a lot of investments. I still got a lot of liabilities, No. When that moment comes, you have to be ready to go. Are you ready? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. That's the honest answer, at least for myself. I still have a few flight tickets that so I'm not yet ready to go. But when Krishna says, okay, are you ready to go? And you say, come back later. I'm a little busy right now. I'm just, taking care of fixing a few things here. And then death comes and it's game over and you have to start all over again. Do you want to go back to school? I don't. Do you want to again go out and do stupid stuff? I don't. I wasted enough time for this lifetime. So it's time to get serious. So thanks for showing up and for sticking it out. You're at the right place, doing the right thing. Don't let your mind discourage you and push you into the corner and beat you up, okay? Take control of your life. Take control of your mental space and of your emotional space by dedicating your faculties to Krishna's service. And attraction is stronger than aversion. You're trying to stay away from Maya, it doesn't work like that. Get busy for Krishna. Maya will stay away from you because she can't touch you when you're engaged in Krishna service. But if you think I can just figure it all out, Maya has got your number. She knows your weak point. Knowing your weakness is your strength. You may never know it, but the other devotees, they can help you to improve. So it's good. You have a good Sangha here. Use it by engaging in Harinam Sankirtan, in chanting, in book distribution, in preaching, in expanding the mission. And you will see that these are my people. This is my team. This is my family. Because, and this is my closing point, the people you live with and serve with together are the people you're going to die with. So get used to the idea. An ideal is utopia. So don't think it's going to be perfect if I go somewhere else or I do something else. You're at the right place at the right time. Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada. Ah, Haribol. the only man with the pen. I appreciate that. Digital signature. All right. Happy marathon. Happy... Once you go.